Oh, hi there, and welcome back to British Skylines. We're here in the county of Cambridgeshire, in the town of Great Camington. And you may hear in the background, I am not alone. I'm currently looking after my daughter, and she's helping me edit the video. So in this video, we are going to try and right a few wrongs. As you can see on the screen, we're currently re-enabling a whole bunch of notifications that we've disabled in the past, and are using the no problem notifications. At the time I thought it was a good idea because, you know, they're annoying, but also apparently they were quite important. So as you can see, I mean, there's a few issues. There's no water to that place. Easy, fix it. There's a lot of people are dying. A lot of people are dead. So that's fine. We can fix that. We just need to get some cemeteries in place, which is great because that's one of the things we want to do anyway. So let's do it. Today we're working on fixing some problems and adding a cemetery and crematorium area. So here we are. We've just got obviously the basic shape in. We've got a bit of car parking area which we'll add in, and it's just a case of trying to figure it out. Now I've got these mausoleums, which is, they basically work as crematoriums, and the way I see it is I'm not planning to put a church here. This is just a graveyard, but these mausoleums, they're that's sort of, I'm thinking where like ceremonies might be held and small crematoriums, etc. So yeah, I mean we'll add a church in at some point. And as you can see, they are already doing brilliantly. All the hearses are out in force, collecting all those dead bodies. So no problem soon. We'll hopefully think we've got this. This is probably the last service we've been needing because we've got everything else. So hopefully that's it. And just there, I don't quite know what I did, but I messed it up. I can't undo that. So if anyone knows how to stop the cars doing that, then obviously let me know. So the assets we've used so far, just to sort of give you an idea, that the mausoleum, or it's a Turb mausoleum by Acapulco, and yes, you can download that from the workshop. Also the walls where we're putting all the bits in, that's called the All Souls Ceremony by 220 Hertz. So it's all available on the Steam Workshop if you want to do what I'm doing. It's absolutely fine. I've also added it to the collection that's in the description of this video and all other videos of this series. So check it out, and yeah, if there's anything like, have a look. Everything should be there. Let me know if there isn't. So yeah, here we are. We've got the All Souls Ceremony, the All Souls Cemetery, and we need to fill it in. So we're trying to add some bits and bobs. Now, I think most people would probably put a church in there. It's too small for a church, so that's why we're not going to do that. We'll do a church later on with a bigger cemetery. This is just to get things to work. We need the functionality more than anything. So we've got some gravestones in there. We've got obviously the paths, a couple of trees, just trying to make it look quite realistic. There was a comment by the Duke suggesting to do this, which obviously taking some idea from that, but obviously can't do everything. So we're working on it. But yeah, I think it turns out quite well. But I'll just leave you to it, and I'll come back to you in a moment. So just taking a little break from that, notice there's a few other little issues. Now that all the dead people are out of the way, we can see the other problems. This TARDIS, it needs road access. Just move over, no problem, sorted. There's a classroom there that just one of them needs road access. Again, we can just make it work. It doesn't have to be perfect. And there's no garbage collection here, so it's a case of changing one of the paths to a road. And again, you know, we can tweak things. It's one of those frustrating things that I took off the notifications because I thought they were annoying and ugly, and I should have really been paying attention to what they were saying as opposed to saying get them off my screen, because all I've done is cause problems, and now we're going to fix those problems. But that's fine. That's part of the game. And we'll fix them, and we'll keep the notifications on from now on so that we don't come in this problem again. So yeah, as you can see, we're just adjusting this car park slightly just to make it all work with the new road that comes into place. It's not too different from what it was before, but it is different. So just a case of just moving things around, taking some of the parking spaces and putting them elsewhere, and the cars for that matter. So yeah. Well, I would also mention as well that thank you for everyone who's commented on the videos so far, because we've had a phenomenal amount of comments from everyone. It's been amazing. I'll put a few on the screen, but you know, thank you so much. Keep doing it, and I do read them all. I do try to comment, and I reply to every single one 100%. Keep becoming, guys. So we're heading back over to the cemetery. Just wanted to tweak it a little bit. I find sometimes walking away, coming back, I always see things in a different light, and I think I want to change that slightly. So I wanted to move the car park slightly closer. I was originally planned to have a gap in there with some trees. I thought, no trees. We'll just have a butt up against the road and go from there, and then we'll decorate the inside of it a bit better. You may notice as well that I do use the same assets over and over, the same trees, the same benches and stuff. I'm trying to minimise the amount of different props and assets that I use where possible. It's hopefully going to help with the FPS, because it's starting to get a little bit challenging. Let's put it that way. It's the computer's still struggling to keep up a little bit. I think we've got some time to go. I think we should be alright, but it's time to start making the changes and yeah, make sure that we don't fall into any bad traps later down the line. So yeah, we're obviously very much the same trees in all the different places, same bushes, same stuff, but that's on purpose, and I like them. I think they look well. Hopefully they work well together. I think hopefully you think so too. But anyway, trying to do the old car park. So we've all seen these before. Had some parking bays, and then obviously the cars, the props, the cracks and puddles and all that sort of stuff. It's just, it all brings it to life and just makes it quite realistic, I think, anyway. And I think it sort of comes together. In this one, I wanted to add sort of like a little medium in between. Like, this is what I was planning to do on the edge of the car park, but I thought I'd do it in the middle this time. So put some bushes in, and people have to walk around it. And so yeah, we've got this little bit of a raised platform that's going to have some curbs around the outside, grass inside, and then we'll just some bushes in it. But like I say, I do make a point of leaving a tiny little gap just by the traffic lights where people just, all the street lamps where people have walked through and they've just cut through. And that's you know, trying to plan for where the people go and what the people do. So you may notice as well that I'm struggling to actually place assets directly into the graveyard, into the cemetery. This is as a result of that thing I did earlier on where I'm changing the height of it and I can't change it back for some reason. So I'm having to place stuff outside and move back in. It's not the end of the world, can work on it, it's really no issue. But yeah, just somehow things happen, and yeah, it's how you deal with things. It's not the fact that they weren't wrong in the first place. So we obviously got some bins there, we've got some benches. I've got some, you might not be able to see, but there's some little broken bottles, and just to, like with the Duke's comment, he wanted it to be where the youths hang out and drink and stuff. So I thought I'll leave a few empty bottles there. and that's, you know, they're not very considerate. They're not thinking about the people. They're just going to leave a mess for everyone else to clean up. And here we're just adding a few flowers and plants and stuff. Obviously graveyards will always have that sort of thing in them, so I've just put a few down, a few different sets, and I'm just putting them together, and I'm just randomly cut and paste them into different graves. So we've got a combination of stuff, so each one has got at least 2 different flowers. I kind of foresee that people will come and visit, and there'll be, you know, not just going to be one person coming down every day, but not every graveyard, not every grave site will obviously be tended to regularly. You never know. But so yeah, blithering on. It's realistic. And I just wanted to finish off the internal area with just going around the edges with a bit of grass. Just again, people are going to be tending the gravestones, and there will be a grounds person around. But I just feel like the edges may just be if anything is going to be left growing and out of control, it's going to be the edges, because they're going to get distracted. People are going to be focused on their own individual gravestones, or the groundskeeper is going to be focused on the other pets. But so I thought we'll have a few bit of spots of grass here and there, just to give it that I haven't got around that area sort of thing. And then here we've just got a few little bushes. I just didn't like the green space, just wanted to fill it in, so with some bit more textures and just something more. Then just wanted to add a little bit around the outside of the car park. Just obviously we're going to be building up to the edges at some point with other stuff, but just wanted to add a few trees just to kind of close the area off and say this bit, that section there is done, and we'll work on the next part next time, or some other time. While we're looking around, I noticed that there was an issue that we got sick residents, and that usually means there's polluted water. So there we go, the dump, the landfill site is polluting our water, so we can fix that. That's probably why everyone died in the first place. So it's one thing fixing the dead, but it's another thing stopping the living from becoming the dead. So hopefully, fingers crossed, job done. Then we need to make it look pretty, so I'm just going to copy and paste using the movement mod. And do you know what? The movement mod is brilliant. You can just do so much stuff. It saves so much time that you can just copy and paste, and just you still tweak it, but it just otherwise I'd be there all day. Love it, absolutely love it. So, wanting to add one more thing in this video, and that is a little bit more housing, because as much as the population is now rising quite well, it's not as high as I'd like it to be. So we're going to add a bit more in, and focusing on flats at this time round. Just a few little bits, nothing fancy, just a couple of flats. I think they held 20 families each. So we're going to have 2 of them, and we're going to add a third one as well. And yeah, just to try and increase the population a little bit, and separate the sort of the graveyard, the cemetery, from the main sort of road, the high street, because I think I didn't want it to be butted up right next to it. I wanted to I don't know, I just wanted a space between it, something to fill that gap, and housing is always use housing, to be honest. I'm trying to do a little bit of housing every episode now, just to slowly increase the population without going crazy and without boring you to death with a million houses. Just like all the people in the city, they all died because they were bored of me putting houses in and not doing other things. So yeah, we've got a few little trees here. We'll leave a little gap for people to walk through, because just trying to think about the way that people will move the city. I've said this a million times before, and I'll say it again, but there we go. And that's it. And then we're going to add some parking and make it look good, hopefully. Let me know. it was about here that I realised the error of my ways, and I hadn't fixed the water issue. In fact, I'd moved the water pumping, the water treatment plant, and not the water pumping plant. And yeah, so it didn't fix anything at all. So yeah, we've moved it away and we get it to work. But unfortunately, we are just about out of time for this video. So if you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And obviously, tell your friends about it too, because if you like it, there's a good chance they will too. And like I say, just do comment. I comment, I read every comment, I reply to every comment, and you never know, you might end up in a future video as a comment on the screen. So yeah, anyway, I've been Tiki Gamer. You've been awesome. Enjoy the cinematics. Goodbye.